My video for March the 31st, 2019 is video number 3041. The title is Gun Confiscation Ordered by Connecticut Governor. When I first looked this up online, Daniel Malloy showed up. He was the former chair of the Democratic Governors Association. However, his term ended in January of this year. Ned Lamont is the current governor. I'm not sure which one of these traitors is the culprit, but it really doesn't matter. Many Democrats and Republicans as well are in violation of their oaths of office when they support such measures. Our forefathers, imperfect as they were, had the foresight to realize the importance of a well-armed populace and I gotta change that. Of a well-armed populace in the defense of their rights and liberties. It was and continues to be the safeguard against tyranny that overtakes nations with unarmed populations. I am glad I live in a nation where people are well armed to hold off the charlatans who want to undermine our freedom and buckle under to the international terrorists who want to dominate and control the populations. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution reads, quote, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed," end quote. It was adopted on December 15th, 1791, as part of the first 10 amendments contained in the Bill of Rights. And all governors, before entering upon the duties of that office, shall, before any justice of the Supreme Court, take an oath or affirmation that he or she will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and of the state of blank, and that he or she will faithfully perform the duties pertaining to the office of governor. Oh, excuse me. Yes, this is something that people that don't live in the United States may not understand. But Britain was trying to impose tyranny from the beginning of the United States history, before, when there was a Declaration of Independence made in 1776. And remember, the U.S. government didn't start then. It started some years later, after the Revolutionary War, if you will. But the people that lived here, of course, many of them were hunters, and it was the people in the South that insisted on the Bill of Rights. There were people in the North and in Connecticut and New York and I don't know which other states, but Massachusetts perhaps. No, I'm not sure about Massachusetts. But in any case, there were people in the North especially that did not go along with the Bill of Rights. Alexander Hamilton was one of those. He was one of the, from my perspective anyway, he was a traitor to the ideals set forth by Thomas Jefferson, and especially Thomas Jefferson, but others, Thomas Paine and others from the South that wanted to protect the people of the United States against tyranny. And whenever a government is allowed to take away the rights of the people to protect themselves, that government is in the worst type of violation of human rights. All humans have the right to protect themselves against thieves and robbers, and child molesters. Unfortunately, that latter I have to throw in because so many of the establishment leaders are child molesters, and they don't, children can't bear arms. They haven't even reached the age of accountability, and yet they are violated. And I didn't know I was even going to go off on that tangent, but there it is. We live on a planet where the insane claim to be the leaders, but really they don't want to lead. They want to rule. They want to dominate. They want to take our rights away and tell us what we can and can't do. And this is a violation. The Bill of Rights were unalienable. They were not to ever be violated. We hold these rights to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable, unalienable, however you want to pronounce it, rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We have the right as human beings, so long as we don't infringe on the rights of others, to be free, period, end of sentence. Yet others don't want the sentence to end there. They want to keep us sentenced to the imprisonment of their maliciousness. They want to make us slaves. And so many of the amendments that came after, especially the ones that came after the Civil War, so-called Civil War, under Lincoln, and I've talked about that. He was the first bar attorney, the first non-qualified president of the United States, and yet I honestly believe he was one of our better presidents. But then again, that's in my own idealism. I think the Gettysburg Address, I thought was excellent. I remember memorizing it as a teenager. But in any case, folks, we live in a time when humanity is either going to throw off the shackles of this tyranny against our rights and freedoms and allow ourselves to really be free people who live with honor. I mean, the people that hold government positions, not just in the United States, but around the world, are in dishonor to self-evident truths that were recognized by by many, not all, of the forefathers who founded the United States of America. And of course, it's not a country anymore. It's a corporation. And so in one sense, the oath of office is just a charade to make people think that nothing changed. But everything changed when the governments became incorporated. They were no longer protecting the people, they were protecting the investors. And the investors are the ones who uphold the tyranny, not the freedom. I would like God, and I know people get tired of me saying this, I'm sure, I would like God to take responsibility and help humanity, or otherwise we are going to face the loss of freedom and the loss of our humanity, because they're working very hard to create robots to take our place. They being these charlatans, these demonic individuals who only want to control others and violate even the most innocent among us, our children. I've never owned a firearm myself and don't intend to. I'm a man of peace to the best of my ability. But I'll tell you, if it came down to having to take a stand and arm myself against tyranny, even if I would end up getting killed, I would take the bullet. But I would take down some of these charlatans with badges and uniforms who are working for the cabal and working to undermine human freedom, human liberty, human dignity. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.